Good evening. I'd like to wish everyone a Hoppy Easter. Shout out to my friend James, the other James as we like to say, for the reminder that today was indeed Hoppy Easter and I should put something out today. I don't think I'll do anything as long as the last video in the series, and more than anything I just wanted to kind of give a shout out to everybody and wish you all a nice Easter and have a beer. Good evening, everybody. I'd like to wish everyone a Hoppy Easter, and a special shout out to my friend James for the reminder that today was the day that we celebrate hops as a ingredient in beer, as such the theme of the day. I hadn't really anticipated on doing hops quite yet in the series, but I think today we'll, just for the sake of it being Hoppy Easter Day, we'll touch on them a little bit. And more than anything, I just wanted to say hey to all my friends out there and all my subscribers who have been watching the series and part of the Pursuit of Hoppiness family, and I wish you all have yourself a beer. These strange times with the COVID-19 going on, I know we can't all be with our families or friends as such, but make sure you get on the phone or on your Zoom or whatever means you do and let them know that you're thinking about it and that you care. In general beer news, one of my personal favorite beers whenever I go out, Mac and Jack African Amber. I saw today as part of the COVID-19 they're going to do a special release starting Monday, and you will be able to get it in a can in the stores. I'm not sure where, but keep an eye open. It has been a long time favorite of mine, and I'm pretty excited at the possibility of actually getting a six-pack and enjoying it in my own house. On to hops. So what are hops? Hops are a classification of a plant known as a rhizome, and they grow on a vine. It's interesting because these vines grow rather long, and it's kind of, they come out of the ground, and the big hop farms have these poles with lines run across, and the hops go along it. And they produce a little flower cone, looks a little like a green pine cone, and within this cone is the resinous portion of the hop, kind of the sticky yellow substance that's also kind of hard, and it's not terribly soluble in water. Hops, as I mentioned in the last video, have antiseptic qualities to them, and as we all know, bittering properties. The flavor that you can get from a hop depends on the species, and it ranges everything from what I've heard described as swampy all the way up to piney or citrusy, or even some of the tropical fruits like mango. They can all lend interest and variety to your beer, and depending on how you add them to the beer, can add a lot of personality and make it your own. As to which beer varieties use which hops, that kind of depends on the region you're in and the style. A lot of the German beers use hop varieties that are common to the areas where the beers themselves originated, a lot of the traditional varieties. In the Northwest here, we are actually one of the largest hop producers in the world, let alone nation. And we have our own set of hops that have been developed and propagated here in the Northwest. A lot of the names match things that are near and dear to our hearts. You'll see Cascade, Columbia hops, all named after regions or landmarks in the area. And it's also part of the reason why the Northwest is where the hop heads, or people who really enjoy hoppy, bitter beers, have kind of developed. Me personally, I think my favorite variety of hop is the Citra. It's got it's definitely higher on the bitterness scale, but I just enjoy the flavor all the way around. it's kind of one of those things I find funny where you ask a wine connoisseur to describe a wine when they drink it, and they'll name off a whole series of characteristics, and they can tell you potentially what type of grapes were in it and so forth. You don't think about that with beer, but somebody who's a beer connoisseur, you can take a sip of a beer and you can get a pretty good idea of what type of hop was used. And if you get into somebody who's a real, so I like to use the term beer snob, you can get into discussions every bit as deep as to what went into the beer and what type of hops and so forth. As I promised, this isn't going to be a terribly long video. It's kind of a spur of the moment after receiving a text from James asking if I was going to do it. The next one will definitely be a little more planned out, a little in depth. But as I started off, crack a cold one, enjoy it with your family at a safe distance, and until the next video, stay thirsty, my friends.